7:48 degrees. Len and Christopher hanging out with you. Of course, you already knew that. But now joining us on the show, it's PR strategist Lori Walker. It is time for Lorries Stories, and often she talks about those communication breakdowns.
I love it.
This is great.
There you go.
That rock music matches my big hair.
That's right.
Big hair, don't care.
She's a rocker girl. What's going on?
Good stuff to talk about today.
All right, what have we got? Please enlighten us.
We all love food, so let's talk about some Chick-fil-A.
Could use it like a break
This is a
sandwich
neat
right
story. There's a gentleman named Brad Williams who owns 2 Chick-fil-A franchises in Georgia, and he watched a woman spend an entire meal looking at her phone instead of speaking to her children, having any kind of communication with her family.
Right.
Wow.
And it inspired him to do something that has really taken off.
So
and is
a
super
communication breakdown, if you will.
That's correct. That's correct. Quick aside, we are on Periscope this morning.
Oh,
and,
yes.
Hello from Paris just popped up on the screen. So that's
Paris.
awesome.
Bonjour.
Thanks so much for joining us.
Wow.
So, are there Chick-fil-A's in Paris? Probably not.
I don't know.
Anywho, moving right along. So, Mr. Williams decides that he's going to create a little cardboard box, kind of like a kid's meal type box.
Yeah.
And he printed some chicken wire on it, and he called it the cell phone coop.
Okay.
So he has asked his patrons to grab a cell phone coop. Everyone agrees in the family to put their phones on silent, put them in the box, and not mess with their phones throughout their meal. At the end of the meal, they can bring their cell phone coop up to the counter and show that they kept their phones in there the whole time. And Mr. Williams will give the family, each member of the family, an ice cream cone.
Okay.
So I think that's a really cute idea because this is, let me back up one second. So this started just 2 franchises, but it quickly gathered steam. So as I was watching stories last week, I saw one where about 100 other franchises had jumped on the bandwagon. And then last night I was doing another check, and now it's almost 200 that are on the bandwagon. Yeah.
Now, I actually heard an opposite take on this story.
Oh, did you?
Yeah, mind your own business what I'm doing while I'm eating.
That's fair.
Yeah,
that's
I
fair.
mean, that's what this was somebody's take on the whole story was, it's none of your business what I'm doing while I'm eating. I'm paying for my food. Leave me alone. If I want to be on my phone, I'm going to be on my phone.
That's true.
I do see the point that the franchisee, though, is making.
Well, and here's
Because
why I like it.
It's true. I was at a meal with my family, well, some extended members of my family, a couple of weeks ago, and everyone under 30 had their phone out.
Yeah.
Well, and yes, my generation is definitely guilty of it, but
my husband and I are guilty of it also. Like I've had moments where I look at us when we're out to dinner, and I've said to him, Michael, we look like jerks right now. We both have our faces in our phones.
You're 29, right?
That's right, yeah.
That's right.
And he's like 2 days older than me. So. Yeah.
But no, yeah. So there are multi-generations.
Yeah, it's the phones. We are attached to our phones. But here's why I like this. In my circle, in my professional circle, branding has been a big topic of interest recently. And when I think about this, it just reminds me how well Chick-fil-A understands branding and knows who it is as a company, and how well they've done getting their franchise owners to also understand and truly buy into that brand. Because when you think about Chick-fil-A, I don't know anyone who doesn't know what they sell,
Right.
And
It's in the name.
And I don't know many people who don't get a sense of Chick-fil-A's values, because Chick-fil-A has been in the news for values-based stories, good and bad, against it time and again. It's no secret that the Cathy family who founded Chick-fil-A are Christians. They don't hide that at all. There's the whole closed Sundays thing. There was the gay marriage issue in 2012 where the Cathy family spoke against gay marriage and really in less against gay marriage, but definitely in favor of what they call traditional marriage. there was pushback from the gay community with that, but then in turn, there was a huge groundswell of support from the Christian community, and sales actually soared 12% in 2012 in a time when most of us might have thought, well, Chick-fil-A is going to take a hit on this one.
Yeah.
So, agree or not with Chick-fil-A's
Right.
standards and their branding, they know the brand and they stick to it. So, when I think about these kinds of stories, I always think about what does a small business person learn from something like this? And it's just that it's a good reminder that you need to know your brand and you need to spend some time figuring it out and be true to it. And Chick-fil-A, this works for Chick-fil-A.
Right.
And it's shiny and new and cute, and you as a business owner might be tempted to jump on that bandwagon, but you need to make sure, does it fit with your brand and does it make sense? You can't kind of push it.
Right.
So on the flip side of that coin, we talked a little bit about Starbucks last week and how their brand was suffering a little bit because of their change in their rewards program. Mm-hmm. And so I'm only bringing it up again this week because I feel like Chick-fil-A had the hit and Starbucks is now feeling the miss of this whole branding scheme. There was a report in Adweek that said Starbucks' brand reputation has plummeted as a result of those changes that are coming in April to their rewards program. They've dropped by 50% according to YouGov, which is this global online community that kind of gauges opinions and behaviors and beliefs of people and organizations around the world. So they assign buzz scores to businesses, and Starbucks' buzz score dropped from 60 to 29 in the week following the announcement of that.
Well, did they lose any sales over it, though, is what I want to know, because
Correct.
people go there.
Yeah.
Religiously.
They just know. I mean, I'm going to go get my Starbucks.
Yeah. It's just the biggest hit is because when people do the math and the cheaper coffee purchasers could have earned free drinks after spending about $24, and now they're going to have to spend about $63 to earn their rewards. That hits people. That makes them angry. But I think Starbucks is going to be just fine.
You
they've
wouldn't
got
like me when I'm angry.
I don't think they're going to take a big hit.
They have a good brand. And for, anyone who wants to be a hater, just remember that Starbucks spends more per year on health coverage for its employees than it does on coffee. So I think that's a business with its heart in the right place.
And they are a very charitable organization.
They are, as is Chick-fil-A.
Yeah, that's right.
Same guy that said, leave me alone while I'm eating, also said, if you want to help me, open up on Sunday so I can get some nuggets.
That's the biggest time that I have a craving for Chick-fil-A is on Sundays.
It never fails, does it?
I really want some One time I pulled up, I completely just forgotten. I pulled up to a Chick-fil-A. I'm like, oh, I'm going to get myself a chicken sandwich.
Nope.
Denied, exactly.
You guys have been listening to Mayhem in the AM on 1430 AM and 96.7 FM in Lakeland, Florida. And my segment is called Lorries Stories. I'm a PR strategist here in Lakeland, and every Monday morning around 7:40 Eastern Time, I come on the air and we talk about public relations successes and failures. So thanks so much for tuning in, and I will see you guys next week.